All right. Welcome to math class, crew. I need something to entertain myself. So today we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. And if you remember, yesterday we talked about a type of graph that we use sometimes to show information, and that's called a scatter plot. So we looked at how you could look at baseball statistics and how you could look at attendance statistics, and you could use a scatter plot, putting them on a graph with two axes to kind of get a sense of that. Today we're going to learn about another common kind of graph, actually two types that look similar but are a little bit different. And they're not a big deal in how they're different, but we'll show you. So today we're going to learn about bar graphs and histograms. Bar graphs and histograms. And you should have the handout in your binder already. Let me know if you don't. But here we are. Lesson 1.10. Oh, bar graphs and histograms. So here we go. A bar graph is something you've probably drawn a bunch of times in your math career. You've probably drawn it since elementary school, but it's a way to show counts of information. So for example, in this question, we asked people how many pets they had at home. And they answered, and here's everybody's answers. So we just wrote them all down. So if I'm going to make a bar graph, I'm probably going to want to make a tally. So what are the answers I see here? Well, some people said they had no pets, and the highest number I see is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like that. And then let's just tally up. So I'll tally in red. So 3, that's one there. 4, that's one there. 0, that's one there. 1 and 1. Tally, tally. 0, 3. So I just want to keep track of these so I don't lose track of any. 2, 1, 3, a 5, a 0, a 4, another 3, another 5, another 3, 1. Oh, that was almost screwed up there, didn't I? 2, another 4, another 2, another 3, another 5, another 7. Actually, first 7, another 3, another 0, and a 2. Okay, so there we go. And now, tally is all well and good, but let's actually count it. So you kind of want to do that and say, okay, well, now that we've done that, this is the worst looking thing I've ever done. So I'm going to use a ruler because just like that, we'll use a ruler, and then we'll say, okay. So you don't have to worry about this, but I hate to be messy, which is funny because I'm naturally very messy, but I kind of need a little bit of neatness in my life. So I'm going to do that so I don't lose track. Okay, there we go. And all right, so there we go. So we're going to say how many zeros was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 1s, 4 2s, 7 3s, 3 4s, 3 5s, 0 6s, and 1 7. And now when we go to make a graph of this, well, we would just kind of go like this. And I will go to there. And we'll go like this. So that would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And ours doesn't go up to 8, but that's okay. We'll kind of mark that. And then from here, we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I've got my scale built. And it's helpful to have a nice scale. You definitely want to use a ruler when you do that. And now we're ready to build our bar graph. And so, for example, I can do this first one first here, and I know that I had 5 people who had 0. So we just draw a nice solid line here up to 5. And I use a ruler so it's nice and neat looking. And then the next one, I know that 3 people were at 1. And then I know that 4 people were at 2, so I'm going to kind of go there, there. And then 7 people were at 3. And I should mention that usually, and I kind of made a mess of this, so I'm going to go back and change it. Usually when we do a bar graph, we separate these so they don't quite touch. That is a convention so we know it's a bar graph and not another kind of graph, which we're going to show. So I'm actually going to go back and just change these so that they follow this rule, because that's actually kind of important, and I'm sorry I forgot about it. I wasn't trying to be forgetful. It just happens sometimes. So 5, and then 3, and then 4, and then 7, and then 3, and then 3, and then 0. And then here we just go up to 1. All right, and then we'll put our lines across, and then I'll shade these in. And you certainly don't have to be quite as slow-moving as I am, because this ruler is a bit clunky to manipulate, whereas yours will go a lot faster than that. But there we go. Just like that. And then, of course, it's nice to shade these in. So maybe I would grab this and say, okay, we'll fill it in. And that a nice looking bar graph. You can do a nice careful job there. Beauty. Okay. Okay, so that's a bar graph, and it shows us the count in each category. And if I get time, I'll go into this video and kind of fast forward through some of the just watching me use a ruler. But if I don't get time, well, then you can watch it, and so be it. Not the end of the world. It won't kill you, though it might be a little boring. But there we go. All right, so there's a bar graph. Now, note, height of the bar is the number of people who gave that answer. And the other note I want to make is there's a space between bars. Whenever we draw a bar graph, we draw it with a space between bars, just like that. And that's how we know that it's a bar graph. All right, So there we go. That's an example of a bar graph, and I think not a bad looking one, if I don't mind saying so myself. On the other hand, we have a histogram. And a histogram is like a bar graph, but information is put into bins. In other words, I don't want to have, well, one person said 68, one person said this. So what we do is we put each number into a range or a bin. So we say it's between blank and blank. So it's just like a bar graph, but in a bar graph, we're actually looking at their exact answer. Whereas here, we kind of say between blank and blank. And if we look here, our lowest number, I think, is 44. And our highest number, is it 98? So I think I'm going to count by tens. There's no right answer to this, but counting by tens should be pretty good. And I don't have to start at 0 because my lowest number is 40. So I can say 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, 90 to 99, and there we go. So you can use any size you want. Basically, I'm saying if it's in the 40s, that's going to go in bin 1, 50s in bin 2, and so on and so forth. So let's count, shall we? 68 goes there, 86 goes there, 44 goes here, 95 goes there, 76, 77, 58, 67, 86, 72, 73, 65, 98, 73, 51, 85, 81, 56, 62, 75, 82, 76, 84. So it should look like that. That is it. And now let's just count it. That is 1, that's 3, that's 4, that's 7, that's 6, and that's 2. So now we've got our count. Now, when you make a histogram, it's like a bar graph, where we just kind of put the ranges down here. So I'm going to say that is 40. That's where 50 would start, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So now if we look at our bins, well, everything in this bin is going to go in this spot. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gets us there, so that's good. So now let's just draw these. And, oh, I don't know. Let's go a little darker in color here. Let's go that way. So the first bin just goes to 1. Now with a histogram, the bins go all the way across. That's just a little symbol we use to know the difference between a bar graph and a histogram, is that in a histogram we have the bars go all the way across. And here we're going to go to 3, and to 3, and then up to 4, and up to 7, and then up to 6, and then only up to 2. Just like that. And now, hopefully, these all line up nicely. There's that. And there. Not bad. Oh, Not happy with that. There we go. There we go. That's our histogram. And again, I'm going to color it in because I like a nice colored in graph. All right, and there we go. So here we can say each bar represents a range. So this bar is everything between 80 and 90. This bar is everything between 70 and 80. And you'll note there's no space between bars. And so that's what we'll say here. Bar graph versus histogram. Say each bar represents one number. Each bar represents a range. And the space between bars in the bar graph. And there's no space between bars in the histogram. And that's it. That's what we want to work with today. So hopefully this was of some use to you. I'm in the room to help you if need be. Carl's in the room to help you if need be, and you can work on these two practice questions here. And that should be a relatively light day for you, which is fine. I have no problem with that. Don't worry, I'll put you to work tomorrow. And good luck. Ask me if you need help. Sorry about that. Yeah, so hopefully that does it for you.